Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, I would like to welcome everyone to this presentation made by Group 8. In this occasion, we would like to have a presentation from Chapter 11, which is Employee Development. We will first explore what employee development means. Employee development is a joint initiative of the employee as well as the employer to upgrade the existing skills and knowledge of an individual. In short, employee development is a process of working with employees to improve, to enhance, to refine, and also to develop newer ones in support of organization, mission, and goals. And now, let's have a look at the employee development responsibility. First of all is the organization. It is important that the organization reflect the importance of employees' development in everything they do. Top management must be supportive and help the subordinate to develop, such as encourage them to participate in employee development activities. Support system can also be used to aid development. A human resource information system, HRIS, for example, is useful for tracking employee development. Other organizational systems that are supportive of employee development include succession planning processes, where appropriate, and a reward system that recognize increased employee competencies and value to the organization. Next, let's move to the human resource responsibilities in employee development. So, basically, Human Resource Department is a group who is responsible for managing the employee life cycle. This department is responsible for developing and maintaining the employee development system and practice. This includes providing the employee career goal. Other than that, Human Resource Department also can support supervisor by giving them training in areas related to employee development, such as creating development plans, coaching employees, appraising performance, and so on. Thus, they're responsible in maintaining an up-to-date HRIS, since it is the most important part of the organization development of its employees as well. In addition, Human Resource Department also can support in offering continuing education. Human Resource can help determine which classes and training program would be the best for the employee. Human Resource can work with manager to ensure that the employee's work schedule is flexible enough to allow the employee to join the classes. Okay, now let's move to the supervisor responsibility. Supervisor plays critical roles in the development of their employees. They have to set clear expectations, answer questions, monitor performance, and may have training responsibilities. Effective supervisor ensure that the employees to complete work on time of high quality within the budget. They also make sure that the employees have the resources to complete work in a safe environment. Retaining highly skilled workers can also be accomplished through the supervisor's behavior. The supervisor position is the place where the organizational culture and HR system and practices are put into action. Without a proper implementation by the supervisor, employee development will not be successful. Okay, last but not least, of course, the employee themselves have to play a role to make this employee development successful. In such case, the employee is only required to be honest in the assessment process and motivated to develop and acquire new skills. Employee absolutely must have the positive attitude when approaching employee development programs. However, that is the ideal and is often not the case. Sometimes, the employee needs to take the initiative for her own development program. Okay, for example, if the employer gives the employee an additional responsibility, it is up to the employee to view it as an opportunity to learn and grow rather than being forced to do an extra work. In such circumstance, they must be highly motivated and being an effective performer. Other than that, they also have to always ask for feedback of the work that they are doing. They also can ask for special assignment and training to develop a specific competency where they are weak. They also can take an extra work, especially when it will provide a challenge and stretch their capabilities. And last but not least, the most important is they have to be let it known that they are interested in developing themselves to the fullest. Simply, they constantly switching roles as a task, situation and expectation change. Management expert Professor Henry recognized this issue and he argued that there are 10 primary roles or behavior that can be used to categorize a manager's different function. And he published his 10 management roles in his book Mintzberg on Management inside Our Strange World of Organization in 1990. There are include 3 different formal authority and status, which is interpersonal roles, informational roles, and decisional roles. Without further ado, I would like to welcome the next presenter to present the next point.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and hello everyone. My name is Nur Akilah binti Baharum and my matric number is 272502. So I am going to explain more further about the Mintzberg managerial roles. As you know that Mintzberg managerial role has 3 formal authority and status, which is interpersonal roles, informational roles, and decisional roles. For interpersonal roles, there are 3 prominent, which is figurehead, leader, and liaison. For a figurehead, their responsibility is to meet the routine, obligatory, social, and legal duties required of a head of a unit. For example, attend the social function, meet the politician, buyer, and supplier. For leader, which is maintain, develop, and motivate the human resource necessary to meet the head of a unit. And lastly, for liaison, the manager are capable to contact with internal and external, and they are also be able to network effectively on behalf of the organization. Informational roles. The managerial roles in this category involve processing information. For these roles, there are 3 important roles as well, which is monitor, disseminator, and spokesperson. For monitor, in this role, manager regularly seek out information related to the organization and industry, looking for relevant changes in the environment. Manager also monitor their team in terms of both their productivity and well-being. For disseminator, this is where you communicate potentially using useful information to your colleague and your team. Lastly, spokesperson. Managers represent and speak for their organization. In this role, manager responsible for transmitting information about the organization and its goal to the people outside it. Lastly, decisional roles, where the roles include entrepreneur, disturbance, resource allocator, and negotiator. For entrepreneur, as a manager, you create and control change within the organization. This means solving problems, generate new ideas, and implementing them. Second, disturbance handler. When an organization or team hits an unexpected roadblock, it's the manager who must take charge. You also need to help mediate dispute within it. Thirdly, resource allocator. The manager also need to determine where organizational resources are best applied. This involves allocating funding as well as assigning staff and other organizational resources. Lastly is negotiator. You may be needed to take part in and direct important negotiation within your team, department, or organization.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Amira Syahda binti Muhammad Zailan and my message number is 272241. Now, I will continue my part, which is I start with integrating strategy, technology and also structure. This table show about the market leader and cost leader. The market leader organization will be subject to an uncertain environment and thus require more non-routine technology. Rapid change in technology create high level of complexity in market leader organization. As a result, less job specialization, more coordination and more decentralized decision making are the strategy. The cost leader strategy is more effective in environment with greater certainty. This type of strategy calls for more routine technology, more centralized decision-making, and reduced organizational complexity. Next, I will explain about management style. Managerial style has related to two dimensions of leader behavior, which are employee-oriented style and task-oriented style. The employee-oriented style has two types, which are participative and supportive style. Employee-oriented style require higher level of interpersonal skill. The participative style involve subordinate in decision making and how they go about achieve their task. A supportive style characterized by friendliness, empathy and concern for meeting employee needs. Task-oriented style also has two types, which are directive style and achievement style. In the directive style, subordinates are given instruction about what to do, how to do it, and when to do it. The achievement style emphasizes goal setting and high performance expectation for subordinate. Next, I will continue with categories of management characteristics. Management characteristic has four major categories, which are: firstly is conceptual knowledge and skill, second is technical knowledge and skill, third is interpersonal knowledge and skill, and lastly is personal trait. First is conceptual knowledge and skill are the mental ability required to analyze and make correct decision. The following requirements for conceptual knowledge and skill are planning and decision making, organizing and also controlling. Second is technical knowledge and skill. Technical knowledge and skill are necessary to carry out the operation of a particular functional area like marketing, engineering and HR. Third is interpersonal knowledge and skill, often called human skill. That means refer to the ability to work with, understand and motivate others both individually and in group. Last is personal trait. Personal trait is not knowledge and skill, but rather quality of the manager as a person. In some way, personal trait can be taught as an attitude, but they are more complex. Last but not least, I will explain about the interpersonal and informational role and their management characteristics. As we know, interpersonal role has three, which are figurehead, leader, and liaison. So for this type of three interpersonal role, all need personal trait and they also need interpersonal knowledge and skill. But leader and liaison they add one more knowledge and skill, which is conceptual knowledge and skill. Next is informational roles and characteristics. Informational roles also has three, which are monitor, disseminator, and spokesperson. For monitor, they need conceptual and technical knowledge and skill, and also personal trait. For For disseminator and spoken person, they need conceptual, technical and interpersonal skill. And spoken person, maybe they have personal trait and maybe not.
Hi, my name is Nur Fakira Amani and my metric number is 272381. So, we go to next part is the decisional manager role. There is an entrepreneur, disturbance handler, resources allocator, and negotiator. Alright. For the knowledge and skill, conceptual knowledge and skills needed for the entrepreneur, disturbance handler, and resource allocator. Okay. What if to the technical knowledge and skill? Technical knowledge and skill needed all fourth decisional manager role. Okay. And also same way to the interpersonal knowledge and skills and also the personal traits. So it is important to remember, however, that the precise nature of the role and requisite managerial characteristics differ from organization to organization and even within the same organization. In particular, the evidence is reasonably conclusive that the importance of the various roles and consequently the associated knowledge and skills differ from level to level within the organization hierarchy. Organization environment, strategy, structure, and technology with the research on leadership provide some general prescription for effective managerial characteristics at each extreme of the strategy continuum. In the most general sense, effective managers possess technical, interpersonal, and conceptual skills. Leadership research adds the concept of personal trait and style. We examine these factors and ask the degree to which is more or less relevant in market and course leader organization. Alright, so now we go to the technical competence and context. Okay, the characteristic of the skill, we have technical, interpersonal, and conceptual. What about the market leader and the course leader? Alright, both market leader and course leader strategies require managers with high level of technical competence, but the technical sophistication required of market leaders is much greater because they operate on the leading edge of technology. Many technologies capable of significant flexibility in application are also required, making the environment more complex and less predictable. Thus, market leader organization are rated higher in the need for manager with technical skills. Alright, so we go to the interpersonals. Okay, the market leader strategy use a more organic, less formalized design that requires the manager to interact more with higher level managers, subordinates, and peers. These interactions are critical to coordinating activities within and between units. In course leader organization, the centralization of decision making and the formalization of rules, procedure, and policies decrease the importance of many of the interpersonal skills. This characterization reflects a relative difference in the two types of organization and should not be construed in all or none fashion. Effectiveness, these human skills generally differentiate between successful and unsuccessful managers. But logic suggests this is more likely in market leader organization. So we go to the conceptual. Alright. Here in the table show the market leader is higher and the course leader is lower. Alright. Again, the course leader organization by design reduce the importance of managerial conceptual skills except at the higher levels of the organization. Because of the routine technology, mechanistic design, centralized decision making, and formalized coordination system. Market leader organization, conversely, require manager with greater conceptual skill at all levels because of their more complex organization and the need to reduce barriers to creativity. In other words, conceptual skills are more important at all levels in a market leader compared with the cost leader organization. There is agreement that technical skills are more important at lower level management position, conceptual skills more important at higher levels, and human skills important at all levels. Alright? So these studies support the idea that interpersonal and conceptual skills are more predictive of managerial success than are technical skills. This conclusion, of course, makes sense. If technical activities decrease in frequency as a person moves from lower to higher management position, the more effective managers are those who are able to handle the increasing demands of human and conceptual problems. In addition, individuals are typically hired or promoted to management position on the basis of their technical competence at lower levels. So these skills are less likely to differentiate effective performers from ineffective performers. Particularly in technical units, new employees are rarely hired on the basis of interpersonal skills or ability to conceptualize complex organization systems. So we go to the trait, okay? The characteristic of the traits we got here: drive, flexibility, and leader motive. Okay. For the drive, the market leader is high. The cost leader is also high. The flexibility, market leader higher and cost leader lower. And for the leader motive, market leader high and cost leader also high. For nearly of the trait examined, no compelling evidence or logic suggests that manager high in this trait will be more or less effective in any particular organization context. The only trait likely to be more useful in one organization than the other is flexibility, because market leader organizations face more ambiguity and change than do cost leaders. Okay. The manager with higher level of adaptability would likely be more effective than one who was less flexible. Right? Okay, next we will pass to the next presenter. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Nur Fatira binti Ishaq. My matrix number is 272426. Next, we continue with the management style and strategy. First characteristic is participative style. This style is expected to show difference in effectiveness based on strategy. Based on the slide, the participative style are more effective in market leader organization rather than cost leader organization. This is because a decentralized structure promotes higher levels of participation in decision making. For example, we can see in technical units of the market leader organization, their innovation and creativity are facilitated by multiple inputs and synergistic outcomes. It means that they have to work together to make a decision. However, this style is less effective in the cost leader organization because the decisions are more centralized, and also the jobs are well defined by the routine technology, policies, procedure, and structure. Next is supportive style. There is no difference between market leader and cost leader. For sure, this style is effective in all organizations where they all need for friendliness, empathy, or concern from their managers. After that is achievement style. This style is more effective for the market leader because they require managers to reduce some of the ambiguities of their unit tasks, ambiguities created by the market leader's need to quickly identify and place new products or significant modifications of old products in the market. Therefore, the achievement-oriented manager clarify goals, parameters, and performance expectations. For the cost leader, goals and expectations are well understood and standardized, and it just leaving a little need for the manager to exert effort in this area. Lastly is directive style. For the market leader, the detailed direction of who will do what, how, and when is contrary to their structural and technological system. However, This style is more effective for the course leader because it is clearly important for the manager to monitor and ensure that the right people are doing the right things at the right time. Because of the course leader's design use a centralized system, the manager have more responsibility to ensure that changes in expectations are conveyed accurately to subordinates and that subordinates comply with the direction in a specific manner. Next slide is about sources of management development. There is two sources which are external and internal. First of all, for external, we have executive education program and consulting firm. Executive education will provide knowledge and skill of a general nature. Other sources of management development activities include training vendors, consultants, and professional associations. They will supply a wide variety of training activities ranging from broad-based, general application programs to those that are narrowly focused on limited areas of skill and knowledge. For consulting firms, they will provide a professional advice, guidance, and actionable solutions to business experiencing issues they cannot deal with. Next, for internal, we have corporate university. It means they will create their own internal university to provide knowledge related with their organization. For example, Philips, Petroleum, General Electric, IBM, Motorola, and McDonald's have developed their own university-type education for their management development. Next is advantage of using a corporate university. First, the organization understands its own approach to management and can convey it better to its manager. Second, managers can acquire job-specific knowledge and skill. This is because the organization know and they can fulfill what is needed for their knowledge and skill. Lastly, the company can ensure quality instruction because they know their managers well and of course they will give the best lesson to them. As we know, there is two different levels of management in this topic, which is development executive and development of manager. Development of manager is for preparing them for the executive level. But here is some of the strategies for executive and future executive. First is mentoring. Mentoring is to support and encourage people to manage their own learning. For the executive, being a mentor is an important developmental tool from which he can learn a great deal. By dealing with different mentees, the executive is given the opportunity to grow professionally by honing leadership skills and by learning how to work with various personality types and backgrounds. Second is coaching. In coaching, the coach is helping the individual to improve their own performance. In other words, helping them to learn. Executives engage in coaching to improve their management skill, create strategies to resolve specific problems, or explore new methods to effectively support the diverse communication and work style of their teams. Third is Executive Development Program or Executive MBAs. This type of training can take place at the Organization Leadership Center or at a university, public or corporate. It makes classroom learning with real-life problem solving. Fourth is Action Learning. It focuses on exactly what managers and executives need to do, come up with effective solutions to complex problems, then implement and evaluate them. It requires working in teams to problem solve and on their own, researching the issue and gathering relevant data, both of which are important for effective managers and executives. To ensure that this learning happens, a facilitator is assigned to assist the team. The facilitator helps the team through debriefing after the meetings are over. Fifth is job rotation. The practice of moving manager between different tasks to promote experience and variety. This approach allows the manager to operate in different roles and understand the different issues that arise. And the last one is team building. Here, they can learn the importance of team and how to operate effectively in one. That's all for me. Thank you.